Well, if you haven't heard it yet, Happy New Year! I know it's the 2nd of January, or the 3rd for our friends down under, but welcome to our Sunday gathering. It's the first one in 2022. We're so grateful you're here today. I'm Sandra Champlain. I'm here with my friends, my BFFs forever, the loves of my life, Carrie McLeod and Philip Dykes. Our good friend Darren, who's normally here, is enjoying an extra day of play, celebrating New Year's with friends. So he's not with us today. And today, our theme is looking forward. Last week, it was looking back. So we're doing things the same way with some different conversation, but it will be the three of us that will be presenting to you today. And we're so glad you're here. We do celebrate life and the afterlife. And I do think it's so important that we give everything we've got so that we can all have a powerful life filled with love and happiness and friendship and fun. And I think that Sunday gathering is all of that, plus so much more. So I'd like to turn it over to Carrie for our opening prayer.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, to 2022 to our Sunday gathering. As we normally do, we always start in prayer. So if I can ask you to join me within that silence in your own soul as we pray. Divine creative force of life, as we enter into this new year, we bring ourselves and all that we are, and also the potential of everything that we can be into this new year. We know we have that divine spark within each and every one of us. This year, allow us to glow, allow us to share that light, and allow us to recognize and realize that potential that lies within us. Allow us without apology to share that light with others, not forcing, but allowing others to see the light within themselves through us. Allow us to be that beacon for as many people as we can this year. Allow us too to recognize that light within ourselves and be that beacon that allows us to walk that path through 2022 towards our ever-increasing self and spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Kerry, for that lovely opening prayer. It's a pleasure to be here, as always, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year from myself and Kerry and Darren and Sandra and Scott in the background. It is part of the Sunday gathering, this part here where we do the healing. But this time, for the first time of the year, we're going to do something a little bit different because we wish you every health and happiness and success in this year about to come. We also help and send our thoughts to the spirit world to really bring that positivity to you. So I want you to think of your loved ones in the spirit world that will be cherishing every moment of this life for you, but also those that are still around us, your friends, your family, those acquaintances, those people that you may know that are on their sick beds, those people that may be still on the front lines, all those people that have touched us in some way in this life, that have changed our thoughts and perceptions of life. It's here. I want you to hold them within your hearts, not just your minds. As this year starts, and as I mentioned already, we want you to think and hold that positivity dear within you as this music and video plays, and picture and imagine those successful, well-being, healthy people. Thank you.
I love that song. It's a Tim McGraw song, and it just strikes me in such a way about live like we are dying. I remember I have a friend who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's fine. She went through all the treatments, and she said she looks at life a different way. She said the appreciation she has for the little things. She says even colors appear differently to her. It's like she got a new vision, a new lease on life. And that is that live like you were dying, because while I might not go skydiving and I may not go on any bull, no way, but to enjoy life and to just embrace it. And the funny thing is we humans seem to think, and I think it must just be our ego, that we're going to live forever. So we really don't think about living like we were dying. But I think about my friend, and then I think about the zillions of people that I've talked to that have had near-death experiences, that they were blessed with seeing into maybe the next reality, if you want to call it that. But when they have that experience, they make their life about service, and they don't take things for granted, and they live more in the present moment, and they don't sweat the small stuff, and they don't live life being a victim of everything that's happening to them. They're go-getters and they're message sharers, So there is something to that. So as we're looking forward, and it's so hard to believe it's 2022, I don't know how you feel about your journey thus far. Do you wake up and you're whatever age you are and you think, oh my gosh, I was going to do so much in 2021 and I didn't do those things, or I didn't do all of those things, or I started those things, but I didn't finish. Are you being a little rough on yourself? Tell the truth. You don't have to press the raise hand button. Don't worry, but just to yourself. Are you beating up on yourself a little bit about what you could have, should have, would have done differently in 2021? I think it's probably human that we do that. But I'm here to say, just imagine this amnesia comes and you wake up with a fresh set of eyes, and anything is possible for 2022. Because the truth is, anything is possible. I am sure at some point in the Sunday gathering, I told you about that aquarium experiment where they wanted to introduce some little fish into the aquarium with the big fish. But unfortunately, every time they dropped those little fish in, the big fish, they just ate them. And so eventually some wise person in the aquarium had the great idea to put the little fish in these clear jars and just suspend these jars all over the place, all over the water. And of course, the big fish, seeing that juicy little succulent fish, would just swim up to it. And of course, he'd hit his snout on the glass jar. Well, enough times of hitting our noses on the glass jars. Let's be honest, we stopped trying. What happened in the aquarium is eventually, when the big fish no longer tried to get to the jars or to the little fish, they let the little fish out of the jars. And so the big fish knew that they were never going to get their reward and eat that juicy fish. They just couldn't have it. And so happily for the aquarium goers, they can see the little fish swimming happily with the big fish. Now, we are big fish, my friends, and I don't know what's happened in your past and how many times you've hit your snout on whatever glasses when you're trying to go for your dreams and it didn't work out. But I think subconsciously, we all say, that didn't happen, it couldn't happen, won't happen to me in the future, I'm gonna give up. Well, there's no giving up here on our Sunday gathering. No, there isn't. There is embracing life. There is forgiveness. How about that? Knowing that each one of us did the very best we could in the past with what we have had. We have. So don't stew about it. Let it go. There's a nice Disney song, let it go, let it go. It is in the past. We do live life in the present moment, but I do think it's fun to think about our dreams and our desires about going ahead in the future. I playfully talk about us each being a little soul before we get the opportunity to come to earth. And as our little souls, we say, once I get there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then, some divine being says, well, that all sounds good, but once you get there, you're going to forget who you really are. Oh, no, I won't. I'll be able to do this, 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 and this. And life happens. And of course, we've forgotten. But somewhere is that little invisible guide that kind of steers you in the right direction. Those synchronicities that happen, those great people you end up meeting. We all have these synchronicities that we can look back on. And if that particular person didn't come into our life on that particular day, my ship, meaning me, would have gone in another direction. So I don't doubt where we have this invisible force that is trying to remind us of who we are and all those dreams we had before we came here. Now, who cares if you can't remember what the dreams were then? But what dreams do we have now? We all have things we still want to do, right? And I love the music we have today. Most of the songs are a cappella. They have no musical instruments. It's just people's creativity. Maybe instead of doing those New Year's resolutions that never happen, you know what they are. They last maybe a week, maybe if you're lucky. But what if they're things like, I'm going to give gratitude every day. I'm going to be creative in this way. It doesn't even have to be every day. It can be whatever you say. But look inside. If we were to really strip away all those years of those things you woulda, coulda, shoulda done and what people thought you needed to do, and if you could pretend just for a moment that you're that little soul and that every dream is possible, because it is, and it doesn't matter how old we are. That's the good news. It really doesn't. We can start right now. I want to share something with you that was pretty cool. Carrie and Phil, in their weekly classes, they do a practice called sitting in the power. And to me, it's like plugging in your cell phone or your computer. You have to plug in so you can use it. And I did an experiment with a friend of mine, and we both sat with our eyes closed and really got in the present moment. And we really, just listened to our own breath. But we had this desire that we would connect with our higher selves. And so she wrote a question down that she wanted my higher self to answer. And I wrote a question down that I wanted her higher self to answer. And of course, we didn't know if this was going to work or not, but it's always fun to experiment. So unfortunately, I can't remember the question I wrote down for her, but after I got into that zone of just quieting my mind and just imagining this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. It was shining through my pores, and I imagined the light of the divine. I imagined the sun just kind of blending with my light. And I have this notebook right here. And so what I did is I just let my fingers write whatever words came to my mind. I tried to not listen to the words. I tried to just write them. So I want to read to you what came out. Now, is it my higher self? Is it 80% Sandra, 20% my higher self? I don't know, but it doesn't matter because, well, this is what it said. Night and day are two sides to one thing, as a coin has two sides. The magic within each and every human is theirs to be discovered and savored. Like the coin, when you look at it, there is one meaning, but flip it over and you'll see something entirely different. Which is right, which is wrong. To see only one side of a coin, it is easy to have an opinion. In fact, you think it's the truth. The person seeing the other side of the coin sees something completely different, which becomes their truth. Of course, the answer is when you realize that you're holding a coin, hold on, turn the page, and that there are two sides, you then see the importance of the two sides. You can feel the compassion for the viewers, knowing that they simply may be ignorant of the coin itself in total. The answer does not lie within the coin to your question. It is the viewer that enjoys life and gets to discover that for him or herself. As life progresses, you see and hold many coins from many places. The coins represent your situations, difficulties, opportunities, learnings, and people. To live your life looking from each side of the coin and being caring to see the views of yourself and the others, and to see the situations from the views and emotions and growth from each side of the coin. Then to lift yourself up and realize that you not only are the viewer, but realize that you now possess a large bag of coins. Those coins, those learnings, are what is important to your soul, my friend. You come to earth with an empty purse. At the end, you depart with the perfect amount of coins for your earthly life. That growth and wisdom is your purpose for life. Enjoy it and don't be so fast to judge others, as they too have a bag of coins to fill. Now, when I was done, she showed me her question, and it was, what is the purpose of life? Oh, that gives me goosebumps just sharing that with you. So if we think of us being those little souls coming to earth, and we get to collect coins, and of course we have compassion because nobody can see life the same way we do, but we have compassion that they're viewing their coins from a different perspective, but we can still go through life and look for opportunities, look for, times when you get to just share yourself. Look for times where you can feel, what is it? If I could do anything in my life right now, what would I do? Forget what other people think you should do. I tell you, people will give you their opinions all day long. But what is it you want to do? Really, from small to big, it's all possible. And for those of you who are older, 40 on up, the most successful people in the world with some of the greatest inventions and greatest things, they actually happened in their 50s and 60s. Isn't that something? So large or small, it's never too late. And it is just my message to you to remember the bag of coins we're all collecting. And I think someday we're all going to go back home when we close our eyes that last time. And we get to share with other people. We get to open our bags and share our experiences. So what are you going to do today? Maybe it's try a new recipe, try a new food. I don't know. Even just taking that time to close your eyes and, if you had a magic wand, what would you be doing? Or who would you be with? And just start. Be gentle on yourself, really. I do think that there's so much more to come after we live this earthly life, but we experience it differently. So enjoy. Don't be so hard on yourself. Remember the bag of coins and just love yourself. I think that's it for me, guys. I'm going to hand it over to my friends over in England.
Hello. It is a delight to hear you speak, Sandra, and I cannot lie, I also was watching the squirrel in the background, going up and down the tree and out on the branch and back. And there's such a synergy between what you're speaking about, living in the moment and not regretting things, not putting off things, and doing as if there were no tomorrow. We don't want to live in that place. Nobody wants to live in that place where we have to think about, what if there's no tomorrow for me? But we shouldn't have to, should we? We should be in that place of gratitude that's all about living in today. But Phil and I, all through the Sunday, especially when we know the three of us are doing the address, we band ideas about and we talk about what the address is going to be. So when we get to this place, neither one of us knows what's going to come out. And that's the delight of the address, is because it is inspired from our higher self, from the spirit world, from Kerry, Phil or Sandra. It doesn't matter. If it touches your soul, then it's touching something in it. And as I was listening to you speak, Sandra, and I'm sure other people were so inspired to hear the words that you're saying, I thought about the things that I've put off in 2021. I thought about the things that I procrastinated about. Now, I know that Phil and I have talked about the procrastination on the way to your spirit. And the Tuesday class was all about bringing that spiritualization, bringing the understandings. And one of the classes we got the greatest feedback on was where we talked about procrastination, because we all do it. Yep, even you, we all do it. We all put things off. But when we look at why we procrastinate, actually, it normally comes down to fear. It comes down to fear of maybe not making it, fear of being judged, fear of it not being good enough, fear of us failing, fear of us letting other people down, fear of what other people think if we do it. And then we build up this picture until the easiest thing is to do nothing, to sit back and do nothing. Well, I've always had, I'm not one for New Year's resolutions because I don't feel it in the same way as other things that have different names for, but to be honest, they're probably all very similar aspects of the same thing. Each year, I have a look back at the things I wish I had done, because you will know as well as I do that the biggest thing that people regret is the things that they did not get the opportunity or take the opportunity to do. We very rarely regret the things that we did because we often learn from them, and then we go and do them again in a different way, having learnt from what we did. It's very hard to learn from something you didn't do. It's very hard to learn from regret. So in terms of procrastination, I'd like to, in the moment, now again, you don't need to raise your hand, but what do you regret not doing in 2021? Was it reaching out to that person? Was it doing something different? Was it saying more I love yous? Was it doing more phone calls? Was it doing more exercise? Was it eating better? Oh my goodness, it gets more and more and more. What do you regret not doing? And not to say do it this year, but learn from what it feels like to have not done that. And then make sure by the end of this year, you don't feel that again about something different or something same if you're going to procrastinate for another year. But procrastination really gets the better of us. But if we recognize that it all comes down to fear, and Phil said something, it was from a film that we watched, you'll be able to maybe share, that joy lies on the other side of fear. Well, so does procrastination. Procrastination lies on that side of fear, and joy lies on that side of fear. And procrastination is the bit that stops you getting from there to there. Imagine if you got to the end of 2022, regardless of what sort of year this is going to be, regardless of whether we have another lockdown, regardless of whether COVID-19 becomes something less intangible, less tangible in our lives, whether people you have around about you now are still around about you, whether they've moved house, whether they've moved district or country, or in fact world. What are you going to get to the end of this year and know for sure that you didn't put off? If you can hold that thought every single waking moment of your day and check every action you take, yes, every action. Am I putting off something that I might regret at the end of this year? Am I not doing this because I'm scared of being judged, not being good enough, of failing? Whatever your story is, remember to ask yourself, will I regret this? And if you think you might, of course, do the whole risk assessment thing. Don't do anything that's unsafe to you or anybody else. But if it's okay to do and you feel like you want to do it, give it a go. You'll grow, you'll expand, you'll allow yourself all those sides and flips of the coin that Sandra was talking about. You might just end up with a few more coins in your bag.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what can I add to these wonderful words that these two beautiful young ladies have spoken about? Because as Sandra was speaking, I was getting thoughts and I thought, I'll mention that. And Sandra spoke about it. And as Kerry was speaking, I thought, well, I know from what Sandra said, I can follow on. then Kerry mentions it. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, even though we might be on the other side of an ocean, we do have similar thoughts. Everybody at some point has a similar thought as each other. And there's one thing that we know within this universe, that we may have an inspiration, whether it's from, as Sandra said, the higher self or the spirit world. We must act on these inspirations. We must have these inspirations of joys, these creative moments that we have. We must act upon them. Because if we don't, somebody else will. And that's the simple truth. And I think Kerry's right, and what Sandra said was right. If we look at fear or procrastination, that's what's stopping us. And as Kerry said, that wonderful young lady, it was Will Smith's grandmother actually that said it, on the other side of fear, we find joy. And if we understand what we've gone through over these last couple of years, where we were in fear, weren't we? We didn't know what was coming. We didn't know what to do. It was something that was unusual. None of us have lived through a pandemic, and we feared for the worst. And yes, we've gone through some horrible times, and perfect timing. The angel dust appears. So I'm going to just adjust the camera just as I speak, and hopefully that stays as it is. But we've gone through these awful times where we've not known what's around the corner, but yet there's something within us that's resilient, that's strong. Whether it is your determination, your drive, whether it is the higher self, or whether it is one of your loved ones from that unseen world that's inspiring you on. And if we look at what we've created over these last couple of years, we've created a new way of thinking, perceiving life, interacting, because through modern technology, as we're speaking to you now, we're reaching more people. We're able to share truths to more people. We're meeting new people who now we can call friends. This is what something that fear has created. It's giving us, because it's taken us outside our comfort zones. It's taken us outside our normal way of thinking. And yes, every one of you, yes, that's right, you that's watching right now, listening to me speak, babble on, you've made a difference. You've created something new. In a way, you are a leader. You are a pioneer because you're doing something different. I remember when we started the Sunday gatherings and the classes and everything, where people said, you know, that'll never work, that'll never catch on. But yet we've got people here with us from 20 different countries just watching this one Sunday gathering. And from this one Sunday gathering, I believe there's other things called Sunday gatherings out there as well. And we're not precious. We're actually privileged that we've created something that somebody else has copied. In one way, that copy is the biggest form of flattery. And if you think about it, people all over the world, through this technology, through a Sunday gathering, a Sunday service, are inspiring so many people, are touching so many people. So as we look forward, again, at another year that may be not certain if we're going to have our freedoms back or do the things we love to do, or those times we cherish seeing family, we don't know if that's going to be there. But what we do know is that we've got a desire, a creativity within us that can meet and match and climb and overcome mountains. These are the thoughts that we want to leave with you, because each interaction, each thought is not just yours, it is shared with that great universe. That universe that is there unseen. You can call it life, you can call it the creative force of life, you can call it the spirit world. But you're being listened to, you're being inspired, you're being prayed for, you're being pushed forward. And it's these moments that when we have this creative thought, this inspiration that fills us full of life, full of joy, we must act upon. So don't procrastinate, don't put off till tomorrow, because I guarantee if I ask you to raise your hands, who's put something off for tomorrow and it's tomorrow's come, but you've not done it? I'm sure there'll be plenty of hands, as they are now, being raised. Let's make 2022 a year that we do achieve, that we do take those steps, that we do go through those fears, but find great joy at the end of it. Let's hope and wish, as we send our prayers and thoughts and healing thoughts to everybody, to have happiness, well-being, positivity, love within their lives. And not just those people that you know, people that you're going to inspire. Because believe it or not, each time we speak on here, we hope that one piece of a thought or a seed is planted within one of you that is inspired to make change. Because we know it's the hardest thing to take a footstep into that place called change, to leave that place that's called the comfort zone. We know that it's a bit of a risk, but with every risk, there's success. And as we move through that comfort, from that comfort zone into that risk and success, we know there's a stretch zone that takes place. Well, it's you that's done it. It's you that should applaud yourself. It's you that should give you that pat on the back because you've achieved. But know this, that your loved ones, your friends, your families are all around you to support you, wherever they are in the world. They always want the best for us all. So it's understanding that all these things that we go through are normal. And each and every one of us goes through similar things as each other. Have strength that somebody else has taken that footstep. Have strength that somebody's had that thought. Be the first, be the leader that's going to create change for somebody else to take a step. For me, there's nothing greater than taking a step, leaving a footprint for somebody else to stand on that journey of life, to find their dreams, to find their painting, their creativity, their aspirations of life. Just because somebody has an opinion, as Sandra said, because everyone's full of them, everyone's got their own thoughts, but there's only one of you, one life for you, and you can make a huge difference. And you never know what you're creating can create an opening, a space, an idea, a thought in somebody else to create change as well. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, and I hope and wish for a wonderful year ahead for you all.
Phil, you always know the right thing to say, and you say that we've said it all, but no, you're fabulous, as are you, Carrie. I love you guys so much. Before we move into our demonstration of mediumship, I just got this vision of the Olympic 5 circles, and I was just thinking about the Olympics are coming up, right? The Winter Olympics, I do believe they are this year. And every single person that competes has a coach. And while it is so scary to commit to something bigger than yourself, it is the pathway to success. And I'll tell you a little bit later about our classes that we have. We've got something going on every day this week. Everything starts this week here in January. But I just want to plant the seed to you guys that it really helps to be part of a community. And I know we're here with you on the Sunday gathering, but it helps to be where you can see the other people and everybody's learning and growing, and to have an opportunity to learn, say, mediumship, and then you're working in a breakout room and you're able to reunite somebody with their loved one. I mean, it's magic. So we've got all kinds of good things coming up, but okay, let's move on to our demonstration of mediumship. And I know there's lots of people that have been here before, and I always know we've got some new friends that are joining us for the first time. So I'll just review how this works. In just a moment, we're going to hear a piece of music that's just meant to uplift us all. And it's always a good time to imagine our loved ones with us, alive or not currently walking this earth, just to feel the love. You know, when we can pull in that love, it's just a magical thing. Because we do survive physical death, by the way, we do. We absolutely do. And that's one of the things one of the reasons we share this on our Sunday gathering is when you have an opportunity to witness some of these reunions going on, and we start acknowledging that if we do go on, because we do, that our lives here are for a purpose. So we do always include our demonstration of mediumship. There will be people in the spirit world, and while we could have a couple hundred here in our Zoom room right now, there could be thousands in the unseen world. And they are behind this. They know what they're doing, and they will have different representatives step forward and communicate with Carrie or Phil. And Carrie and Phil will do their absolute best to portray the information that they're getting. And they'll first give different bits of information about the spirit person that is connecting with them. And you'll hear them say, I've got a man or a woman or a mother or a son, or, you know, these different bits of information. And we want you to be on the edge of your seat, really listening in clearly. And if you can recognize every bit of information about this person they're talking about, And it has to be a person that's no longer walking this earth. We want you to press your raise hand button. So if you guys want to press that button just now, if you want to find it, whether you're on your iPad, iPhone, tablet, computer, device, I don't even know what else is possible or what other devices are going to come in the future. But your raise hand button should now say lower hand. And so you want to press that button again so your hand goes down. Sometimes it takes a minute or two to distinguish who this spirit person is here to communicate with. But when we have identified that one person, I've got a special button on my side that I will press, and then it'll pop up for you that hosts would like you to unmute yourself, and you will press it at that time. Can't see it just yet, but it will be there. And then at that point, you'll be able to talk to Carrie or Phil. And when I say talk to them, here's the part you got to listen to. We want you to only say yes, no, or I don't know. We want them to do the work. We want everybody to know that they are bringing in the people that live in the spirit world. And as excited as we are to share about our loved ones, we don't want anybody leaving thinking, oh, maybe that wasn't my mom because I said this, this, and this. So let them do the work. So we just want you to say yes, no, or I don't know. Now, these two are pretty darn tough. Don't feel you're going to make them feel bad if you say no. It's okay. No, as they teach in their Thursday class, means a new opportunity for them to dig down deeper and find out really what the spirit person is saying. So we just want you to say yes, no, or I don't know to the information. And while it's impossible for everyone to get a reading, I personally think, now having been on 93 Sunday gatherings, that the spirit people work to benefit all of us. Some of the stories that are told, you realize just how close they are. And some of the messages that come through, you realize, oh my gosh, I could use a little bit of that for myself. So whether it's your person or not, there is gold for you in every reading. So let's listen to our song and then we'll come back with our first working medium. Here we go. We have our firework Phil as the first to demonstrate. Hello.
Hello, Sandra. I've never been described as a firework.
Oh,
I
you
might be
sure
a bit of
are.
a dud. We never know.
No, never, never.
We never know. We never take it for granted. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new year and it's just wonderful. It always is. It's always a pleasure, but there's just feels something wonderful about today again. So it's a pleasure to work on behalf of the spirit world and be part of this Sunday gathering. So as my mind moves to the spirit world, I know that I want to, in fact, I've got a few people coming forward and I'm just a little bit confused. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's fine. So I know here I have Mother in the spirit world. I know Mother passed very quickly, and I want to say that when Mother passed, she had that heart problem, a heart attack, and I know she was outdoors. It feels like she was either in a built-up area like shopping, because I know there seems to be this panic, because I don't feel she was alone. So I want Mum, I know there's a heart attack, but I know she seems to be out and about, surrounded by people when this happens, please.
Thank you, Phil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who can understand this information? Press your raise hand button. No hands up, Phil.
That's absolutely fine, because it just feels here, and I want to stay with this. It's either, if I've got this wrong slightly, I know it's the heart that takes her, but I know there was either a shopping trip or something really important around this event, whether it was just before or just after, but I know this is what she brings to mind. But I also know with Mum, there's a real strong side to her. She doesn't back down. She's very driven, very strong, and very motivated as well.
Everybody's searching in their minds, but we do not have a hand up.
Then the only thing that I will change about this is the relationship. I did feel it was a mother, because I did feel I wanted to come to children or something afterwards, but I know here that I have a lady, I know she passes, I know one of the greatest joys was going out, was shopping, and I know there would have been family members around or present at the time.
Thank you, Phil. Okay, Jasmine, her hand up. Jasmine, would you press your unmute button?
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, Jasmine. Do you understand everything I've said?
Yes, she is a mother.
That's fine. And would you understand where I said that there would have been either this love of shopping or this would have
Yes.
happened, and there would have been this heart attack that would have happened around this time, if not on that shopping trip?
It was a week after.
I was a week after, because I know here it's really important, and I might know it might sound that every lady or it may be stereotypical to think that, but I know here it's important because it just feels she liked things just right.
Yes, she was finicky.
Because again, it also feels where she wants to be organized, she wants to be in charge.
Yes.
Because again, there's just this sense of do as I say, not as I'm almost like I've just got to do everything she says here. So I know she has that personality, understand?
Yes.
And it's almost where you don't want to challenge her because
Absolutely.
you feel a little, that's fine, because each time I question her, I feel so uncomfortable because it's almost like you don't know what you're going to get. In fact, I know you'll probably get a piece of her mind. Because again, but I also feel that she loved nothing more than people being around her.
Yes, she enjoyed family.
Because I know here it's not just the people surrounding, it's the social side. She loved to talk and loved to discuss things.
Well, not so much that.
Let me understand. Would you understand where she would have an opinion on things?
Oh, yes.
Because I know here what my perception is, that she's always got an answer, she's always got an opinion on things that have been talked about. Because I just feel she's quite driven in one sense, but it's almost like she just wants the best for people.
Yes.
And when I say the best for people, would I be right in saying if there's something being talked about that wasn't the best, she would try and turn it into a positive? Let me explain that, because
Yeah.
it just feels that she would either say, well, we can look on the bright side, we can look at the positives, and we can gain something from the experience.
Yes.
Because I know this is what she's impressing upon me, but I also know she's very much her own character. And if she didn't want to do it as such a thing, she would never do it.
Exactly.
Because each question I ask her, every thought I have within my mind, she's just doing her own thing. And I know that's who she is.
Yes.
But I also know this, she loves the way that it's very important the way she presents herself.
Yes, all the time.
In the way that she looks and everything else, she always wants to look her best. And it's almost that motto of having best foot forward.
I would think.
Because I also know we're at New Year and the theme is looking forward, and it's almost where there's a sense of I've got an idea, a perception in my mind, and I just want to achieve that. It's almost like nothing would hold her back.
That's true.
Because again, it doesn't matter about other people's opinions. If you've got an opinion, she would either have her own or she'd just stay true to who she was.
Yes.
That's fine. Would I be right in saying she could be quite a private person as well?
Absolutely.
And would I be right in saying where she was private, she was also, how can I put this, full of pride as well?
Yes.
Because it feels like everything she achieved, she was proud about. Even if it wasn't the best in the world, it was what she'd done.
Yes.
And I also know she liked to look to the past of either family history or memories we shared together.
Yes.
And I know one of her fondest times was when family got together.
Yes.
Because this is where she saw everybody and got the greatest joy and felt very much alive as well.
Yes.
Would I be right in saying before she passed, she didn't get to say goodbyes to everybody?
Exactly.
Because I know here that is the one regret, because she would have liked to have said a few truths about how much she thought about people, how she loved the family.
Yes.
And I also know this, she has a good sense of humor as well.
Yes, she does.
Because she's laughing, and I just heard, I'm still watching everybody now. So I know it's really about, and that's something that people would joke about. I bet she's up there looking down, watching everything.
Absolutely.
Because again, there's that sense of good fun with her, and that unpredictability I want to bring forward, because there's a real sense here of keeping people on the toes and looking forward and making the best of this year. And I'm going to leave those thoughts with you, Jasmine, and the family. Okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
One last thing. Would I be right in saying you've still kept letters of your mother's as well?
Yes.
Because I know, and in those letters, she shares her thoughts of love and truth in there as well.
Not really.
But thank you for being honest and saying that. I want that there's letters here, and it just feels where she speaks her mind in them. Do you understand?
Are you referring to like cards?
No, oh, bear with me 1 second. Let me just check here. That's fine. If I go to the cards, would you understand where she puts her heartfelt thoughts into them?
Oh, yes.
And I'm not talking about the odd few words, to be verses in there.
Oh, she would, yes.
That's where I want to be. So I know others are the letters, but it's the cards I want to. My mind went, that's fine. But I know here this is what she's bringing, because I know there's some really heartfelt truths in those cards, and that's what she wants people to know, how she felt about them.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm going to leave her love with you, Jasmine, and say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, as I become aware of the spirit world again, I know I have a gentleman. I know this is Father. I know as Father comes forward with me, I know there's a real sense of humor that he wants to come forward with. And I just feel that he's just, how can I put this? I want to say he's a bit of a kid himself, because I know he just wants to make light of everything. But I also know that he's not the best around the home, because it feels like there's a little bit of kidology. So close your ears, Kerry, because it feels like he knows how to get out of things and almost find something to do when important work's being done. But I know this is memories, and it's almost like he has an answer for everything, because he can make something up on the spot, and I just feel that's part of his personality, joking about things to get out of it.
Thank you, Phil. Who recognizes this man? Well, we have Glenda. Let's bring in Glenda. Hi, Glenda.
Hi, Happy New Year.
And to you.
Happy New Year, Glenda. So you understand everything I've said?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and with your dad, would you understand that he has that answer for everything, but it's almost like he sounds very plausible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's almost like he would carry it on for a little bit, then start laughing and let you into the joke that he was just pulling people's legs.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah. And it's almost where he would do something, or he was expected to help in the kitchen, and he would either make an excuse or start something, pass it over, and never come back. Because because I've just got this sense, but I also feel that even though he could be this jovial self and he knew how to a little bit of kidology, I also know there's a serious side to him as well, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And I also know that the serious side was his work.
Yeah, he was.
Because it feels where I want to say he was very well thought of and very well respected for his work.
Yeah, he was actually.
And I also know about that job that people wanted his insight because he was very knowledgeable.
Yeah, he was.
And it's almost like really specific details of how things work that they were after the knowledge of. Do you understand?
I understand. It's
That's
so funny the way.
But it's just his mindset. But again, it's almost like that serious side. When he came home, he was able to let go of that and just be who he truly was, be his authentic self. And there would be memories of him closing his eyes. He would only resting, he'd be never sleeping.
That's true.
because again, it's just this impression where he could let his hair down, and he could really just be who he was. But there's a sense of you never knew what he was going to do next, because it's almost like that sense of he liked practical jokes or teasing or just teasing somebody. Understand?
Oh, absolutely.
Because again, it's almost like if he's got his eyes closed, you have to check just in case one opens, because you just want to make sure that he is sleeping and up to no good as well. But I also know that he could, even in family get-togethers where we could be sat around watching TV, he could tell like a tall tale as well, and everyone would believe him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because again, he could interact in the moment's notice with things off the television and tease people and get them going. But I know there will be memories where he did this and walked out the room almost like he dropped a hand grenade in and just walked out.
That was his forte for sure.
Because I know this is just what he plays through my mind, but I know it's all about the real sense of family, the real sense of being who we are and making the most of situations. And again, he was one of those people that could just, his presence engaged people, and people were drawn to him.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also believe as well, if he had a problem, he was the man to go to, Glenda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because again, he would sit down, he would listen, there'd be no judgment, but he would give his frank advice, but you never felt judged.
He'd give us frank advice, but I do believe there was judgment sometimes.
Well, in his way, then let me put it a slightly different way, because I'm going to stick true to, because it didn't feel like there was judgment, because I feel your dad's life wasn't always perfect.
Right.
And I know he lived through things that he may have made mistakes in.
Absolutely.
And I know he would never talk about it or go into full details either. So I know here that he has no judgment, because I know he used life as a way of guiding himself and others through here. But I want to leave you with memories of your dad at Christmas. There should be memories of wearing the hats and everything, you know, the things you get out of crackers.
Oh, well, Santa hat, yeah.
That's fine, because I know there should be photographs of this time as well.
Yeah, I just took his thing off the tree just now.
That's good, because I know it's just the way he brings my mind to this, but it's just his way of saying, I'm still around, I'm still here collecting your thoughts. And I won't know, and I'm not predicting, because he just feels he wants life to be a little bit unpredictable, but see the funnier side of things and make the most of things like he did.
Oh, Phil, you're wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to speak with you, Glenda. I'm going to say thank you very much. Please take your dad's love. One last thing. I don't know if he's pulling my leg. I've got him. Would I be right in saying he can make funny noises with his mouth, but people will believe it will be other parts of the body?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Then bear with me. Would I be right in saying he had a little bit of a warped sense of humor?
Yes, you would.
That's fine, because I know where mine's going. I thought, okay, I can't go there, because you said, but I know it's that sense of humor. He would find little things very funny, and in the simple things as well. And that's what I want to leave you with and say thank you.
That's wonderful. I still have his joke tape that he made. So it's
good.
Very good. Very good.
Good. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Glenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, how nice. Thank you, Glenda. And thank you, Phil. And thank you, everybody who's paying attention and listening and watching our community.
All right. Okay. All right. As I begin again, I've just got the impression going through my mind of a name here. And somebody here would understand the name of Robert Graveson. Robert Graveson, and I'm just checking this as it goes through. So I know I have a gentleman in fact, I know there's something I've done wrong here because it's not settling with me. That's better. So I know I have a gentleman in the spirit world. I know his name is Robert, and I do believe that somebody has been either to a grave recently where Robert is, or where his body is, because I know here it's just that memorial impression that I get. So I know I should have Robert in the spirit world. I know somebody's been to the grave side, and I do believe, because it just keeps on echoing within my mind, that Robert should have a son here.
Thank you, Phil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who understands this information? We have Pam that has raised her hand. Let's bring in Pam. Pam, can you press your unmute button? Hi, Pam.
Hello, Pam. Oh, I can
We
hear
can't
audio,
hear
I
her.
can hear audio feedback, but I can't hear no voice. Hello, Pam.
Oh, Pam. Let's see if we can make you a panelist and that will work. Or maybe you could put on your camera and you can do a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let's see if we can get her. All right.
Hello,
Pam?
Pam.
Having a technology glitch.
Going to give it 2 seconds. Hello, Pam. Can you hear us? I can hear the little taps of the audio. Something's happening. I'm expecting an EVP to come through, Sandra.
I know, I know. Well, Pam, I'm sure you're frustrated because you're probably saying a lot of things and we cannot hear you. We can just hear static. We don't have your camera on to see you.
I tell you what, Pam. Can I give? Hello, Pam. Can you hear us? I'll tell you what, Pam. If you get in touch by email, we'll set up a Zoom link and we'll finish this contact. Okay, we'll do it that way.
That sounds good.
I think that's the best thing we can do in this.
I think so too. All right.
Good. So, okay, so I'm gonna have to let go of this, Pam. So make sure you get in touch. I'm just gonna let go and ask the spirit world just to move to one side for a second here. Okay.
We have another hand up, Phil.
We can give it a try, but
give it a try.
Hi there.
Hi, Bernadette.
I can take Robert. I can't take that I'm his son, but I'm his daughter.
So it's your daughter. Bear with me 1 second. And have you been to the graveside recently, Bernadette?
In September.
No, I feel it's more recent than that. So thank you very much for coming forward. Please know that your little one will be there helping, but on this occasion, it's just not that time. Okay. So what I'm going to do, thank you very much, Bernadette, for coming forward. I'm going to hopefully Pam gets in touch and we'll sort that out. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly move my mind away here. Okay. All right. So as I become aware of the spirit world again, I know here I have a lady coming forward. I do believe it's Mum, but I know Mum passes the person I want to speak to when they were very young, almost like a child or an infant, because I know here it just feels passing some time ago, and I know that they still they have photographs of Mum, but I know Mum, these photographs are really old ones, so I know the black and white, so I know I'm going back a little bit in time here.
So Mom's in the spirit world, and
Mom's in the spirit world, would have passed. The recipient I want to speak to must have been very young when Mum passed, though, because that's the impression I'm getting.
All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who understands this lady? No hands up.
That's absolutely fine. I do believe it's Mum. I do feel that, and I know I would let go of that usually, but I feel very strongly with Mum. And I know here that she would have passed. And I want to say that it is young. I am an infant. It feels like I want to talk to somebody that was in their early years when Mum would have passed. And again, I keep on being drawn to the US of A, so I know I'm in the United States.
Okay, thank you, Phil. No hands up.
No hands up. That's fine. And I can't change it because I don't feel here. It's either somebody's not listening or speaking up here. And I also know where I want to be. The name of Margaret would be in the spirit world as well. And I do feel that would be grandmother. So I've got mum, I've got grandmother. And I also know there should be Tom in the spirit world as well.
Well, Lynn has her hand up, so let's bring her in and see what she has to say. Hi, Lynn.
Hiya.
Welcome.
Hello, Lynn. Just to save a
Hiya.
little bit of time, how much do you understand of what I've said? Oh, have we lost Lynn?
Lynn, are you there? Lynn? There's a little
Hello?
gremlin behind the scenes. Hi, Lynn.
Hiya.
Hello, we lost you then. How much do you understand, Lynn?
I'm mother in spirit, Margaret, but not as a grandmother, and Tom as an uncle.
Ah, okay, so I've just
I
got the
was quite young.
relationship. That's fine, because I know here I had mum. I know she passed when we were young as well.
Yeah.
But would you understand with your mum that she was a very strong-minded lady?
Yes.
She would never give up on anything.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you also have old photographs of your mum as well.
Yes, a lot.
Okay, and when I say old, you must have photographs of your mum when she was young as well.
Yeah, black and white.
That's right, because that's the ones that I keep on being drawn back to as well here. But I also know here there's still an interaction with your mum, Lynn. You still talk to her in the spirit world.
Yes.
And I also know you've asked for that contact tonight.
Yeah, I did.
Because I know here she says, and what I'd be right in saying, where we used to live at one point, if you have the memories, was on like a slight hill or an incline.
Yes.
And what I'd be right in saying, where we lived there, you would have lived towards the end of the road.
Yes.
Because again, she keeps on taking me there. I also know with your mum, Lynn, would I be right in saying you've been told about stories about your mum, how she was very active in the community?
Yes, that's correct.
And again, the stories where she would have been almost knew everyone's business, but in a good way.
I'm sure, but I'm not 100% on that part.
Bear with me 1 second. Would I be right in saying where we used to live was a small community?
Yes.
Because again, and it feels like it was quite a how can I put this? If I said there wasn't, it's going to sound really awful, this, but I want to go back some time. Almost like there wasn't a great deal of work for the ladies in the community.
Yeah.
Because it feels where she was in and out of other people's houses, and she was either what's the word I'm looking for? She helped other ladies. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Because again, it feels where she knew a lot of people, and this is where she knew their business, and this is why I felt it was in a good way. And where we used to live, there must have been either hills nearby as well.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying there was either a street that we lived on or very close by called Hill Street?
Hillside.
Hillside. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because I know here, I just saw something. But I also know that it's almost where, let's just have a look here. Thank you. Would I be right in saying you have very young memories of your mum with rollers in her hair?
Yes.
And where you have these memories, it's almost like the ladies used to come and visit from round about and sit in and have cups of tea.
Yeah.
Because again, I've just got these memories. And would I be right in saying your mum used to have one of those gas fires? Do you know the ones you used to push down and click and turn, and you got 3 different burners?
Yes.
And she can never get it to work.
It's the opposite. We were only talking about it the other day.
Okay, because again, it just feels that somebody couldn't get it to work or would have to do something to it. would I be right in saying that you have memories with mum as well, where she used to get you to serve the people that used to come round?
Yes.
Because again, it's memory, it's just the good old-fashioned memories and things she wants to bring together here.
Yeah.
But I also know with your mum, she was very family orientated, very community based, and it's all about bringing that together for you, for that support at the moment. Understand?
Yes.
But I also know that you're aware of the spirit world, and you've been smelling like a perfume around you just recently as well.
Yes, I have.
Because I know here it's mum's way of saying, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm doing everything I can. As I said, she helped other ladies. She's here helping you now.
Thank you.
Where you live now, Lynn, would I be right in saying round the corner from your house, there's either a newsagent or a corner shop?
No, I was wishing it was.
Okay, bear with me. Then where we used to live with mum, this would have been there as well.
Yes.
That's fine, because I know here, and would I be right, Lynn, the struggles of getting out and about at the moment?
Yes.
Because I know this is what mum's referring to and where she's bringing that support in for you.
Thank you.
And one of the last memories you have of mum is where she used to come in and tuck you in at night.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying that she used to make, she used to sew as well?
Yes.
And she used to make blankets and things?
Yes.
Because I know what she's tucking you in with is like a homemade blanket, and
Yep.
you must still have one of these now.
Yes.
Because I know here she's referring to the times, the things she did to pass time, and she's trying to keep you busy now as well.
Yes.
And I know you should still have her sewing kit.
Definitely.
And in fact, I want to say sewing basket.
Yes.
And it's one of those with like a wicker basket with like a material top to it.
Yes.
And you used to play cards with her as well.
Yep.
And she learnt you how to play patience.
Yes.
But also the game that you used to love was like the snap that she used to play with the cards as well.
Yes.
And also you must have played, I think it's called Gin Rummy, where you have a set of 4 and a set of 3 matching or whichever.
Yes, we did.
That's fine. So it's all these family memories and things I want to bring to get you through. But I know this is what we did to pull the family close, to pass time, to build that confidence and support in the family. And I know she's bringing these memories for you now to do exactly that for you, Lynn.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave her love with you and say thank you very much for allowing me to work with you and your mother.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you as well, Lynn. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure to be part of the Sunday gathering once more, be the first medium of this new year. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm going to hand over to Carrie McLeod.
Oh, thank you very much, Phil. And to our friends in the spirit world too. We know you are listening and working with us. Oh, hi, Carrie.
Hello. What an absolute delight. First one of 2022. It's a real pleasure to be here and see everybody's input today and hear the first people being reunited of 2022. So as I was sitting there listening to Phil in the spirit world and the people coming on, isn't it interesting how the spirit world has this way of making things not work just to get their own way of being able to get a communication on a different day? And I would imagine there's a real reason that that's happened. So let's find it. You can let us know what it is. But as I was sitting there with the spirit world, I had a real sense of a lady in the spirit world. I had a sense of wife, but it could be partner, it could be girlfriend. But I have a sense here of her being a little bit quirky and a little bit different in terms of not towing the line in the way girlfriends, wives, partners should. I do feel she had her own way of dressing. I feel she had her own personality, and I feel she didn't care much for anybody who didn't appreciate her taste.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, who can understand this? A lovely, different woman. And there are no hands raised, Terry.
I'm not going to change anything to do with the character because I know the character stands. But if it's not partner, wife, or girlfriend, it must be somebody who's very, very close to who I'm looking for. Close enough, not necessarily in a romantic sense, but close enough to feel free to share her opinions, her likes, her dislikes, her personal life, all about that aspect of herself.
All right, we have Wendy with her hand up. Oh, and Rebecca just put her hand up as well. Lots of hands going up.
Okay. Then with this young lady, I need to say I cannot change about the way she dresses. The way she dresses is, I'm not quite saying it's gothic, but it's very much individual to her. And I know her sense of music is very abstract, and also the sense of not really caring about other people's opinions, almost about shunning away the norm.
All right, let's bring in Wendy. The other hands went down. Hi, Wendy. Can you unmute yourself? Wendy. Last name begins with an S. Now, it is possible she accidentally raised her hand, but I do not
Hi,
know.
Wendy. Could you unmute?
Hi.
Hi.
I pressed my button by accident. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you for
Okay.
letting us know.
Okay.
Okay, we have JD also here. JD, are you there?
Hello, hi Sandra, hi Kerry.
Hi, JD. You understand everything I've said?
I do. I believe that it's someone that is known to myself and another person who's listening in. And I believe the person needs to be speaking to you.
Okay, and would this be girlfriend to that person?
Yes.
Okay. Would that person be willing to speak to me, or are you going to speak on behalf of them?
Well, I'm on a Facebook Messenger telling him to speak to you, so hopefully he does.
Okay.
He can keep speaking because he can hear Kerry, so please proceed. I know some details.
Then you would know that this young lady would have had a very unique way of presenting herself to the world.
Now, he's just said he's put his hand up.
Is it John?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
JD.
I'll pass you over.
Love the teamwork. Hi, John. Could you press your unmute button? John is looking for his unmute button.
Hello.
There we are. Hi, John.
I'm John.
Welcome.
Hello, John.
Hello,
so
Kerry.
you understand it? Hi. That you understand everything I've said?
I do, yes. I wouldn't have categorized some of it, but yes.
Okay, but you understand her being, your girlfriend being very unique in the way that she held herself.
Yes.
She didn't care much for other people's opinions. If they didn't like the way she was, she entitled to them, to their point of view, but didn't want to change who she was.
Absolutely, yeah.
I also know that she had a sense of humor that not very many people got to see.
Yes, I would say that. Yeah,
because I want to say it's only people that I really trust that I'm sharing my sense of humor with. To everybody else, they just think what they see is who I am.
Yes.
But she wasn't really bothered about that. I also know that you and her must have had conversations about the afterlife.
We certainly did, yes.
Because I get the sense of she wants to rib you about some of the concepts that you both had. Some of it's way far out and some of it's spot on, and she's wanting to let you know that the conversations that you've been at, in fact, okay, you've also been asking her to let you know what it's like.
Absolutely, yes. She has been giving me some information.
I want to say, John, you actually have, when I say hear, I don't mean hear through your ears. If I were to say, if you ask a question, you can almost imagine what she'd be saying as hearing, then you hear her.
Yes, I understand.
Because she's giggling that is really her. It is her thoughts. It is her words. What she's saying to you is coming in through that feeling of, oh my goodness, I could only imagine you saying, but she wants to acknowledge that that is her. She also wants to acknowledge that you must have, moving from Old Year's night into New Year's Day, you must have sent a thought out to the universe that not that you're ready to let go, but that you're ready to move on.
Yes, I'm struggling, yes.
I have to say that your girlfriend is so behind you. It's not about letting go, but it is about moving on into new places. But I have to say, John, if some of those thoughts have been anything about positively continuing to make your mark on this world, you do know you would get a telling off from her.
Yeah, she was prone to doing that, yeah.
Because I know she's saying you need to make your mark, you need to get your chin up. I'm sorry, don't shoot the messenger, but it is about making a difference, John. When your girlfriend was here, you and her made a difference for a lot of people. I get that impression.
Well, she certainly did, yes.
I'm not going to change that. If she did, if she did, it's because you supported her to do it.
I did, yes, yes.
Please know there's a bit of role reversal going on here. You spoke to your girlfriend about your, okay, she's so adamant about what she's wanting me to share with you. You must have had thoughts about what you want to be doing moving forward. I know you said you're struggling,
yes.
But in amongst that, there is, now I spoke about in the address about procrastinating and about holding back for fear of whatever that question mark is.
Yeah.
Please know that your girlfriend knows your fear and doesn't share that fear because she believes in you the way you believed in her.
Okay, well, that's nice to hear.
Please know that she's 100% behind you, and you must still have a pair of her shoes or boots.
I have a garment of hers.
Okay, then you must have a picture where she's wearing rather large boots.
I have a picture, but I the boots, I mean, the boots I remember. I know what you're talking about. I know the reference.
Okay, I know this. I'm not saying they're Doc Martens, but they're a similar boot to that, where they're all that needs to be said is that she's giving you one up the posterior to get a move on and get moving.
Well, okay. Thank you.
Please know, John, that this is incredibly important. The conversations you had about the afterlife.
Yeah.
Phil and I and Sandra all believe that the purpose of mediumship is to inspire the living, to continue to live for all those souls that have gone before us to the spirit world. Her message to you is go and inspire.
Well, I'll do my best. Yeah, I will. I'll certainly give it a go. Thank you very much, Kerry.
Okay, John. Thank you very much. And thank you to your friend as well for putting her hand up for you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, John.
Okay. I do believe I have another young lady here. I do get a sense that she... Okay. I do get a sense that she... There are some question marks about her passing, and there are some details that you wouldn't know, but I do feel this is either very close friend or family, and I do feel her life has been taken.
Thank you, Carrie. Does this information make sense to someone here? No hands are up just yet. Teresa has her hand up. Let's bring her in.
Hello.
Hi, Teresa. Oh, and I
Hi.
see Chelsea has got her hand up also.
Teresa, do you understand this as being family?
No, a close, I understand it to be a close friend's family.
Okay.
The daughter of a very, very close friend.
And you
But
know her
I
very,
could be
very
wrong.
well.
I'm sorry?
You know her very, very well.
I know the mother very well.
Okay. Let me just check something out, Teresa. Do you understand that her life was taken?
Yes.
And you understand that she was outside?
That I'm not sure.
Okay. Hang on a minute, Teresa. Sandra, did you say there was another person?
Yes, we actually have two. We have Chelsea and Lori that have their hands
And
raised.
of those two, what I've just said, does that ring true for them? If they keep their hands up, I'm assuming that they can take what I've just said about this young girl's life being taken and being outside.
All right, Chelsea and Lori, you both have your hands up.
Okay,
for all
of
this
those
information.
two people then, of those two people, would one of them understand this to be family? Because I need somebody that you need to know this young lady quite well.
Thank you, Carrie. They both have their hands. Oh, one hand went down. So let's bring in Lori. Thank you, guys, you gals. Lori, could you press your unmute button? Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good.
We're well, thank you very much. So you understand this young lady, Lori?
Yes, I do.
And you knew her well?
Yes.
And you understand her life was taken outside?
Yes.
I know what she's showing me, and I don't want to share that with you, Lori, but you know that there was some details that was held back.
Yes.
Okay, but I need to not dwell on that because I do know that she was a sweet girl.
Yes, she was.
Because the emotion that I get from her is incredible. The depth of goodwill, the depth of charity, and the depth of compassion from her for others is incredible.
Yes.
I need to
very
say
dedicated.
Incredibly trusting as well.
Yes.
I need to say, Lori, that I know she's close to you, but you do know family that is even closer, the direct family members.
No, that I wouldn't understand. I'm sorry, Carrie.
Oh, but you know her very well.
Yes, it would be my daughter.
Okay, Lori, then if this is your daughter, and I do feel that depth of emotion to you, Lori, there are other people that she's wanting to acknowledge in the family that knew her well.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay, because I know as she reaches out, I know I can only imagine what it feels like to have a daughter in the spirit world, Lori, but please know if your daughter's love for you was a droplet of water, there would be every ocean on the planet, because she is incredibly compassionate. And I want to say that there are questions about her passing, but I also want you to know that to her, those questions don't matter.
I can understand that.
It really is important that she has you. I know I said to the previous gentleman about moving on. She's drawn me to your picture with the 3 Finding Nemo type fish. And you know, two are swimming in one direction and one's going in the other direction. Then you must have, as she draws me to that, you must have recognized at that turn of the year a change in your direction, Lori.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I know your daughter must have done cheerleading as well.
Well, Not literally, but yes, she did.
Okay, because I know she is, well, she is literally cheerleading, but she must have been involved in a sports team at school.
Quite a few. She was very
Okay.
athletic.
Because I know she's got the top on and she's got the name on the back, but I know she is cheerleading for you, Laurie. There is a sense with your daughter that she walked in her own footsteps. Phil said in his address about we lay down footsteps for others to walk in, and you've wondered whether you laid enough footsteps for your daughter to follow. I know your daughter did follow your footsteps, but also laid her own.
Yes.
It's also incredibly important that your daughter acknowledges that whatever happened that day earlier on, you must have intended to phone her or intended to meet her.
Yes.
Then whatever you carry about not doing that, it goes out the window. It doesn't matter.
I understand that completely.
It is about what we do moving forward. And I know the previous lovely gentleman about making changes and moving on. You have actually, Laurie, your daughter shows me, not you putting up, but you taking down a photograph of her.
Yes.
That's good. One less photograph in that corner. There is a beautiful sense of humor coming from your daughter, Laurie, a real appreciation and gratitude for everything you did for her. And you must call her your angel.
Oh, of course I do.
But I literally mean from the spirit side. I know we have angel birthdays, but you must literally refer to her as your angel walking beside you.
Yes, absolutely.
Please know that, of course, she gives you your privacy, but there is that and okay. When she was smaller, Laurie, you must have sat on the bed and braided her hair and brushed her hair for her.
Oh, yes, all the time.
And she must have also sat behind you and played with your hair.
Oh, totally.
But I don't believe you have the longest hair, but you'd have pins and Kirby's and bubbles and all sorts sticking out your hair.
Yes.
And brushing your hair. Please know that these memories are cherished by your daughter, and that whatever you made a pledge to do at the turn of the year, your daughter's 100% behind it. It isn't necessarily in her name, but she wants her energy behind it, because in some way you would understand it is linked to your daughter.
Yes, I do. 100%.
Okay, then she doesn't want it to be too much about her. She wants you to do it for you and the others.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, thank you, Laurie. Thanks for allowing me to do that. And I'm glad we did find you. And I love your picture.
Oh, thank you, Carrie.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. And to be here at the beginning of 2022, just splendid. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Carrie. We love you guys. And you know what? Training and development starts with that first step. So imagine how boring the Sunday gathering would be without Phil and Carrie doing the medium demonstration. Phil and Carrie host so many of our weekly classes, and there's a mediumship class that's starting on Thursday, a psychic class starting on Wednesday. If you're interested in just exploring the abilities of your soul, no one says you have to go on to be a psychic or a medium, but join in. I mean, they're so pleasurable, and you really get to see a different side of yourself. You get more compassion for yourself because you realize you're a fantastic divine soul. You really are. You're amazing. On Tuesdays, they have a beautiful class called The Way to Your Spirit, where you don't do any breakout rooms, it's just a personal journey with you and your own soul. And there's always such good conversation about things that you can use in your life, really to, the things that are on the other side of fear, that joy that's on the other side of fear. On Saturday, Phil and Carrie are doing a course called, a 5-hour course, The Empowered Soul. And it's a great thing to start off the new year. So whether you're a current student or you're new to us, you get in touch with that psychic ability that we all share, get a little taste of it. And if you're a current student, you can deepen that. And that psychic nature that we have is really the basics of all communication. It really is all soul to soul or soul to spirit. It's all there. And I think Carrie and Phil are the best tutors available on planet Earth. They're the best. On Mondays, starting tomorrow, it's myself and Scott Milligan for a course called Trance in the Altered States. If you're interested in trance mediumship, or you just want to close your eyes and really begin to feel that love from the unseen world, it's just a beautiful class. No breakout rooms there either. It's a personal journey. We have everything that we offer. You get a video replay when you register. So if you feel like you can't join us live, it's no problem. We have Facebook groups that you can practice any homework with people in our groups. It's really just lovely. On Friday, we do a demonstration of trance mediumship with Scott Milligan and spend some of that time sitting for healing. So all good. And everything's available at wedon'tdie.com. Everything money back guarantee. We want all satisfied customers. We know lots of people are already registered in our courses. And the last thing I want to talk about is you may have received the email that we've been hosting a movie called Living with Ghosts for the past 11 days. It's been extended till midnight Eastern time tonight. So that is 8 hours from now will be the closing to watch the movie for free. You can watch the movie for free or leave a donation. We're trying to get it on public television, but there's automatic writing that is discussed in the movie, and also something called IADC, which is induced after-death communication, and a study that's been done working with grieving people with the University of North Texas. So pretty interesting. Always happy to share good people and good things. And thank you for those who have contributed to that, and also to make our Sunday gathering happen. We do appreciate, we are going forward. This was number 93. It's pretty soon we'll have 100, and then 2 years of Sunday gatherings. I mean, it's amazing. So we never thought that we didn't know what was going to happen. We just knew that we had a flame in our heart and we wanted to share. And look what happens. There's a great book called by Leo Russell that is called God Will Work With You, but Not For You. And although I don't really remember the book, I remember that title. And I think that we all have divinity, yes, inside of us, but we also have the spirit world, and whether they're guides or angels, we've got these unseen forces that are helping fuel our fire, helping fill our sails with what we need to get to our dreams. But I love that God will work with you, but not for you. We need to declare what it is we want, and we need to start walking in that direction. So I know we're talking about looking forward, and just for me, just know that action in the directions of our dreams is so important, so that we can let this unseen force also help us and make it a little bit easier. There's something else that I do. I've had this since last year, but I've got this daily calendar. Anybody have one of these? The one for Saturday, Sunday, January 1st and 2nd is, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And every day there's something different. May you live all the days of your life, all beautiful things every day. But I actually keep this outside of the shower. So every day when I shower, I brush my teeth, I look and I see that message for the day. So Sandra can very often wake up on the wrong side of the bed, a little grumpy. Can you believe it? Well, I'm not really that grumpy, but it's nice to read something empowering and to have a thought that I bring forward on my day. And whatever we focus on grows. So if you want to get yourself a little calendar or something positive to do every day, yeah, that's my advice for you for looking forward. Over to Carrie and Phil.
Well, I've got to let people into a little secret. Sandra never wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. We get little voice messages in the morning that sound so sleepy and delightful. It's incredible. It really is fantastic. But no, I think as we move forward within this year and we look forward to this year, I think that we need to realize that our thoughts are living things. Our intention is living, and we are glass houses to the universe. that universe hears us. So let's keep our thoughts positive. Let's keep our resilience high. And let's not let fear get in the way. We all have fear, but let's do it anyway. I'm sure there's a book in there. I'm really sure there's a book called that. But it's all about taking them first footsteps, making those changes, because we never know what we're capable of. It's only our thoughts that get in the way. So let's start off this year in the right way. Start setting new places, new footsteps. Let's trailblaze. Let's create something new again. Let's let that creativity really inspire our souls, whether it's from the higher self or the spirit world. Best foot forward with a smile. And remember what Sandra said. Don't let everyone else's opinions bother you. Stay true to who you are and what you want to do. As long as you're smiling, as long as you're happy, as long as you're healthy and have that well-being, you're being true to who you are. So that's my words of advice for this year, is just be the kindest person in the room.
I was just about to say that.
Well, I pinched it before you did.
There is another year ahead of us. All take away 2 or 3 days. Another year ahead of us. Now we can either look at it as another year, or we can look at it as another year. 365 days, 12 months, 52 weeks ahead of us where we can make a difference. So don't think average. Don't think mediocre. You were born in order to do something. Find out what that something is, and then spend the next year doing it. Let's close our service in prayer. Divine, eternal Spirit, as we close this first service of 2022, there may not be time within the spirit realms, but here on our planet, we walk into another year. We walk into a year full of hope, full of joy, and full of love and compassion. We walk into another year where our planet's blue oceans and green surfaces allow us to dwell and live, to prosper and enjoy. Allow this year to enable humankind to make their mark in a way that allows the earth to leave its mark with us, and that all moves forward within that space of equilibrium, so that we can arrive in 12 months' time saying, we did that with pride. Amen.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to go into our closing song, and it's Life is a Highway. I'm going to ride it all night long. So think about your dreams going forward and what's really in your heart. And just as we hear the song, just visualize. Yes, visualize the coming year. How about that? Here we go.